Hello Eagles, I am Mariela Rico bringing you a TouchCast News Special Report. Today we will present an exclusive interview with La Colonia's own Marcos Vasquez. He will be discussing his life and will be giving his take on what it's like growing up in La Colonia.
My name is Javier Herrera. I'm the Spanish and ELD teacher here at Cesar Chavez, and today we have a special guest. His name is Marcos Vasquez. He's special because he's got a great story to tell us, and I want him to share it with all of you here at Cesar Chavez. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, as you guys know, my name is Marco Antonio Vasquez. I'm a resident of Colonia. I've been in the school district for my whole grade school education has been with the Oxnard School District. I started off in Cesar Chavez here as a preschool student, moved on to Ramona for 1st to 3rd grade, and then I got selected into the GATE program, which is a Gifted and Talented Education program. From there, I was taken to Rose Avenue for 4th grade and Crystal McCullough for 5th and 6th grade. From there, I went to Frank, so I'm a Lobo. I have a Lobo pride. And then now I'm at Pacific High School as a Trident. And as Mr. Rivera said, I'll be moving on to Stanford University this following September. What people keep on saying about me that they say qualified me for Stanford would be my well-roundedness, my involvement in the community, both inside and outside of school. I've been involved with school since I'd say the beginning of my freshman year is when I really changed pace and changed who I was in order to become well-rounded as an individual. To become a Rhodes Scholar so I could study at Oxford University in England, go there, become an international scholar, come back, and hopefully get a doctorate either back at Stanford or MIT so I can finish my career. And then,
wow.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Thank you.
Now, here in the community that Cesar Chavez and Frank is located, a lot of students believe that they can't make it to the university, or let alone graduate from high school sometimes. Yeah. What's some good advice that you could give to our future scholars?
Okay. Well, the one thing that kept me going was the saying that nobody ever succeeds without trying. That is to say, nobody ever makes it without trying. They always have to try, and you fail. Failing is part of the process. I'll admit it. I didn't think I'd be able to go to Stanford. I broke down in front of my upper bound director, and he said, nobody has the right to tell you that you can't make it. So nobody can tell you, oh, you can't go because you don't have straight A's, because I don't have straight A's. I have 6 B's in my entire high school career, but compared to, I'm ranked 7 out of 700 students at Pacifica on the 5.0 scale, and they said, oh, if only you had straight A's, maybe you would have gone to Stanford. And that was before my application process. And once I got my admissions acceptance, I was stoked. I was just speechless. If you tell yourself that you can't do it, you just won't be able to, because you already blocked yourself. You took away your ability to do so by putting in the toxic mentality that you're not able to do it. Like Cesar Chavez said, "Si se puede," and those words ring true even to this day. Go down to the library and rent out the videos and play them in the cassette tapes and just watch them speak. And I'm like, I want to speak like that one day. And then my parents being farm workers was a huge impact on me as well, because they're part of the labor union, or they were part of the labor union, and they would go out to protest, they would go out to march, and I would have these first-hand experiences, seeing people speak in front of crowds, and then refer back to videos of Cesar Chavez speaking himself. So that helped out tremendously as well.
Can you share a little bit about your parents, where they're from,
yeah.
things like that?
Yeah. Both of my parents come from Oaxaca, Mexico, and both of them were in the agricultural service. My mother is still a farm laborer, and yeah, that's been a huge part of my life. I worked in the fields for a bit as well in order to support my family. So I understand some of the struggles that students here at Cesar Chavez might face when it comes to economic difficulties or any fears about society or their appearance to others. I completely understand.
I have some students that when they get to high school, they say, I want to drop out because I want to help out my mom.
Yeah.
A lot of times parents are separated and they see their mom struggling.
Yeah.
And they want to help out mom. And I tell them, you can help them out more by finishing your education.
Yeah, that's completely true. I won't lie, that was me as well. You know, personally, outside of school, I had some difficulties, I had some issues, and one of the first thoughts that popped into my head was, I can't be wasting my time with education. I have to go drop out, I have to go work in the fields, I have to go help out my mother. I have 3 younger siblings, I'm the oldest, this is my responsibility. And thankfully, I was lucky enough that one of my teachers pulled me aside and he said, you as the oldest are an example, not only to your family but to the rest of your community, to the rest of your family. The rest of my family, I have multiple cousins and none of them had finished high school. So for me to even to be going into high school, I said, oh, I don't have to keep going because nobody in my family has ever gone to this before. It's not a good investment. The time to money ratio was not a good investment. And it's easy to see why people have that misconception, because if you think about it, oh yeah, I can go work at McDonald's, I could go work in the food service industry, and you'll bring in money, and that money you'll be able to use for rent, utilities, whatever. Yeah. But what people don't see is after the fact, because for the short run it's very helpful, but in the long run, once they find a partner, a good boyfriend, a good girlfriend, and they want to start a family and they want to move out, yes, that money just isn't enough to suffice for the bills. For the statistics that say people with college degrees make $1 million more in their lifetime than people without college degrees. It's a huge investment. It takes time, but it's an investment that's can't be compared. It's priceless. It is. You guys continue and continue and continue. It's easier. Trust me, it gets so much easier to just continue. But if you stop, it's so much harder to go back to school, to stay in school. And there's multiple paths to get to university.
Oh, well, you know, I need to hang around you more because successful people attract other people. Yeah. I can see a lot of people want to hang around you as they get older. Lastly, your parents are from Mexico. What state?
Oaxaca.
Oaxaca. Have you ever faced any discrimination?
Yes.
From being in Oaxaca? Because I know, working here for 20 years, I've seen people students from Oaxaca discriminated.
Yeah. The thing is, when I was in elementary school, it was when I would say it was the worst time to be Oaxaquito, because that was around the time that I had cousins who were in speech and debate teams that would go with legislators that would say, this term is really antagonizing us as a subculture. It's making us feel inferior. It's making us feel like we are not able to continue an education because even at elementary school level, we're getting discriminated against. And firsthand, I was told constantly, you're a Oaxaquito, Oaxaquitos don't look good, don't smell good, can't do this, can't work that, will never succeed. You're a Oaxaquito. Oaxaquitos are destined to not succeed. And thankfully for me, I had teachers who not only were for teaching their educational fields, but were also focusing on the cultural aspect, because they understood that a lot of Oaxaquitos face discrimination, especially here in Colonia, which is kind of weird because we're all Mexicanos here. We all come from Mexico. We all carry la bandera and la águila on the cactus, but people still somehow manage to discriminate against their own people. And that was probably what broke my heart the most as a little kid, was saying, well, we're the same. There's people out there who think Mexicans as a whole are inferior. Why do we have to discriminate against ourselves? Yeah. We're both Mexican. Why is there anything less? We both have destiny thrown at our face. Why do you have to throw more towards us? Right. And those who are from Oaxaca, to those Oaxaquitos, to those who have parents who speak Mixteco or Zapoteco or Tolteco, I'm telling you, you guys are gems. You guys are treasures waiting to be found. Because you go to a university, there are professors who are dying to meet you, who are dying to shake your hand, who are saying, tell us more about your culture, because our documents aren't as valuable, are more valuable than those of American history. Because American history, there's a ton of evidence, a ton of paper trail, but the Spaniards burnt a lot of the indigenous culture of Mexicanos. So most of it has been tradition orally passed down. We're
going to sign off here, but before we do that, I just wanted to thank you on behalf of Cesar Chavez, Mr. DeRosa, the journalism teacher here, and wow. And we're going to we're gonna interview you again in like 3 to 4 years to see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Will that be all right?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Thank you for Mr. De Rosa for having me in the interview and letting us use his room. It's a really incredible setup, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
I'm Mariela Rico, and this has been a Chavez News Special Report. Thank you for watching.